Gut-brain connection. The gut-brain connection, often called the gut-brain axis, is a complex communication network. It links your emotional and cognitive centers with your digestive functions. The communication network. The vagus nerve acts like a highway. This massive nerve sends signals directly between your brain and your gut. Your gut contains millions of neurons. Scientists often call the digestive system your second brain. Chemical messengers travel through the blood. These hormones tell the brain when you are full or hungry. Neurotransmitters play a massive role. The gut produces about 95% of your body's serotonin, which regulates your mood. The immune system provides a third link. Gut bacteria influence immune cells that talk to the brain. The role of bacteria, microbiome. Trillions of bacteria live in your gut. This community is known as the microbiome. Healthy bacteria produce beneficial acids. These short-chain fatty acids protect your brain health. Bad bacteria can trigger inflammation. High levels of inflammation often lead to feelings of anxiety or brain fog. Probiotics can improve your mental state. Eating yogurt or fermented foods supports a happy gut environment. Antibiotics can disrupt this balance. These medicines kill both good and bad bacteria. Impact on mood and health. Stress changes your digestion. A nervous brain sends fight or flight signals that slow down or speed up your gut. Butterflies in your stomach are real. Your brain's anxiety physically affects the nerves in your digestive tract. Dietary fiber feeds good bacteria. High-fiber foods like beans and oats strengthen the gut-brain link. Poor sleep hurts your gut health. Lack of rest changes the types of bacteria living in your intestines. Sugar feeds harmful microbes. Eating too much sugar can lead to mood swings and energy crashes. Expansion. The communication network. 1. The vagus nerve acts like a highway. The vagus nerve serves as the primary physical connection between your head and your abdomen. It is the longest cranial nerve in your body and functions like a bidirectional fiber optic cable. While we used to think the brain gave all the orders, we now know that about 80% of the signals actually travel upward from the gut to the brain. This nerve monitors the state of your digestive organs and reports back to the brainstem. When your gut detects a threat, like toxic bacteria or physical stretching, the vagus nerve alerts your brain immediately. This constant chatter influences your unconscious decisions and your overall sense of well-being. Keeping this nerve toned through deep breathing or healthy eating helps your body manage stress more effectively. 2. Your gut contains millions of neurons. Scientists call the enteric nervous system, ENS, your second brain because it operates independently. This network consists of thin layers of more than 100 million nerve cells lining your gastrointestinal tract. Unlike the brain in your skull, the ENS does not write poems or solve math problems. Instead, it manages the complex mechanics of digestion and nutrient absorption. It senses the chemical composition of your food and triggers the release of specific enzymes. This second brain communicates constantly with your big brain to report on the status of your internal environment. Understanding this system explains why digestive issues often feel like they are all in your head or vice versa. 3. Chemical messengers travel through the blood. Your gut acts as a massive endocrine organ by releasing various hormones into your bloodstream. When you eat a meal, your stomach stretches and releases hormones like cholecystokinin and peptide YY. These chemicals travel through your circulatory system until they reach the hypothalamus in your brain. Once there, they bind to receptors that signal a feeling of fullness or satiety. Conversely, when your stomach is empty, it produces ghrelin, often called the hunger hormone. This chemical signal compels you to seek out food and focus on eating. This hormonal loop ensures that your brain knows exactly when the body requires more fuel or a break from digestion. 4. Neurotransmitters play a massive role. The gut-brain connection becomes clear when you realize the gut produces about 95% of your body's serotonin. While we associate this molecule with happiness and mood, it also regulates the rhythmic contractions of your intestines. Specialized cells in your intestinal lining manufacture serotonin from the amino acids in your food. This gut-derived serotonin communicates with the central nervous system to influence your emotional state. When your gut environment is imbalanced, your serotonin production can falter, leading to irritability or fatigue. By maintaining a healthy gut, you provide your brain with the raw materials it needs for a stable mood. 5. The immune system provides a third link. The gut houses roughly 70% of your body's immune system, making it a major hub for your natural defenses. These immune cells constantly scan the food you eat for pathogens or harmful toxins. When they detect a threat, they release inflammatory cytokines that travel to the brain. These signals can change your behavior, often making you feel tired or withdrawn, so the body can fight infection. Healthy gut bacteria train these immune cells to distinguish between food, friendly microbes, and actual invaders. A well-trained immune system prevents unnecessary inflammation that can damage brain cells over time. This interaction proves that your gut health directly dictates how your brain reacts to external threats. The role of bacteria, microbiome. 6. Trillions of bacteria live in your gut. Your microbiome consists of a vast community of bacteria, viruses, and fungi living in your large intestine. This ecosystem acts like a fully functioning organ that weighs about as much as your brain. These microbes break down complex fibers that your human cells cannot digest on their own. They also produce essential vitamins, such as vitamin K and several B vitamins, which support brain function. Every person has a unique microbiome, fingerprint based on their diet, environment, and genetics. A diverse population of microbes acts as a shield against mental fatigue and various metabolic diseases. Your food choices literally cultivate the internal garden that dictates your mental clarity and energy levels. 7. Healthy bacteria produce beneficial acids. As beneficial bacteria feast on dietary fiber, they release metabolites called short-chain fatty acids, SCFAS. The most famous of these is butyrate, which provides energy to the cells lining your colon. These acids enter your bloodstream and can cross the blood-brain barrier to protect your neurons. SCFAS help maintain the integrity of the barrier that keeps toxins out of your brain tissue. They also influence the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein that helps grow new brain cells. High levels of these fatty acids are linked to better memory and a lower risk of neurodegenerative diseases. Eating a variety of plants ensures your bacteria produce enough of these brain-saving chemicals. 8. Bad bacteria can trigger inflammation. When the balance of your microbiome shifts toward harmful species, it creates a state called dysbiosis. These bad bacteria often release lipopolysaccharides, LPS, which are toxic components of their cell walls. If your gut lining is weak, these toxins leak into your bloodstream and trigger a systemic immune response. This chronic low-grade inflammation can travel to the brain and disrupt its normal signaling pathways. Scientists link this type of internal inflammation to symptoms like brain fog, anxiety, and even clinical depression. Reducing processed foods and sugar helps starve these inflammatory microbes. Maintaining a tight gut barrier is essential for keeping these toxins away from your sensitive brain tissue. 9. Probiotics can improve your mental state. Probiotics are live, beneficial bacteria found in fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, and kimchi. When you consume these good microbes, they temporarily join your internal community and help restore order. They can outcompete harmful bacteria and produce substances that calm the nervous system. Some specific strains, known as psychobiotics, have been shown in studies to reduce cortisol levels in humans. These bacteria interact with the gut lining to send calming signals through the vagus nerve to the brain. Regularly eating fermented foods acts like a daily maintenance kit for your gut-brain axis. This simple dietary habit can lead to a more resilient stress response and a brighter outlook on life. 10. Antibiotics can disrupt this balance. Antibiotics are life-saving tools for fighting infections, but they often act like a forest fire in your gut. These medicines cannot distinguish between the harmful bacteria making you sick and the beneficial bacteria keeping you happy. A single course of antibiotics can significantly reduce the diversity of your microbiome for weeks or even months. During this time, many people report feeling off or experiencing significant mood changes alongside digestive issues. This disruption can break the communication lines between the gut and the brain until the ecosystem recovers. If you must take antibiotics, doctors often recommend eating prebiotic fibers and probiotics afterward to help replant the good seeds. Protecting your microbial diversity is key to long-term mental and physical health. Impact on mood and health. 11. Stress changes your digestion. Your brain and gut share a two-way street when it comes to managing stress and survival. When your brain perceives a threat, it activates the sympathetic nervous system, better known as the fight or flight response. This system diverts blood flow away from the digestive tract and toward your heart and muscles. As a result, digestion slows down significantly or stops altogether during high-stress moments. If the stress becomes chronic, your gut lining can become more permeable, leading to discomfort and inflammation. This explains why people under long-term pressure often develop stomach ulcers or irritable bowel syndrome. Managing your mind is often the first step toward fixing a nervous stomach. 12. Butterflies in your stomach are real? The sensation of butterflies before a big game or a presentation is a physical manifestation of the gut-brain axis. When you feel anxious, your brain releases stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol into your system. These chemicals cause the smooth muscles in your gut to contract or flutter, creating that familiar tingling sensation. This is your brain's way of preparing your body for a challenge by shifting energy resources. It proves that your emotions are not just in your head, but are felt throughout your entire body. Even though the feeling is uncomfortable, it is a sign that your nervous system is working to protect you. Over time, you can train your brain to calm these signals through practice and deep breathing. 13. Dietary fiber feeds good bacteria. Fiber is the most important fuel source for the beneficial microbes living in your large intestine. Since humans cannot digest fiber, it passes through the small intestine and reaches the colon mostly intact. Here, the good bacteria ferment the fiber and use the energy to multiply and grow. A diet high in fruits, vegetables, beans, and whole grains creates a thriving, diverse microbial community. This diversity is directly linked to better cognitive function and a lower risk of mood disorders. Without enough fiber, your bacteria may begin to eat the protective mucus layer of your gut lining instead. This habit of eating for your microbes is one of the most effective ways to support your brain health. 14. Poor sleep hurts your gut health. The relationship between sleep and the gut is a cycle that can either help or hurt you. Your gut bacteria actually follow a circadian rhythm, meaning they are more active at certain times of the day. When you pull an all-night session or have irregular sleep patterns, you disrupt the internal clock of your microbes. This disruption can lead to a decrease in beneficial bacteria and an increase in species linked to weight gain and inflammation. At the same time, gut issues can make it harder for you to fall asleep because of discomfort or chemical imbalances. Prioritizing 8 to 9 hours of sleep allows your gut to repair itself and your brain to flush out toxins. A rested brain leads to a balanced gut, and a balanced gut leads to deeper sleep. 15. Sugar feeds harmful microbes. Refined sugar acts like fast food for the less helpful bacteria and yeast in your digestive system. When you consume high amounts of sugar, these species can overgrow and crowd out the beneficial, fiber-loving bacteria. This imbalance often leads to a rapid spike and then a crash in blood sugar levels, which confuses the brain. These microbial shifts can trigger cravings for even more sugar, creating a cycle that is hard to break. High sugar intake is also linked to increased intestinal permeability, which allows toxins to reach the brain more easily. Over time, this process can lead to irritability, poor focus, and long-term memory issues. Replacing sugary snacks with whole foods helps keep your internal residents in a healthy, helpful balance.